Chris Wirtz for The Slate. When fans go to a Shippensburg University sporting event, all they notice is the action on the field or the court. But what they don't know is that none of that would be possible without the behind-the-scenes work of the Sports Information Department. Sports Information Director Bill Morgul and his assistants are responsible for stat keeping, media relations, online broadcasting, public address announcing, and scoreboard operation. Morgul talked about the key to keeping everything running smoothly.
Being organized, I think, is the key because you're ultimately responsible for all of that content, that information, that schedule. Other people can afford to have it slip through the cracks. You can't in this job. So you have to be organized as to when things are happening, why things are happening. And I think part of that is that in order to make sure things run smoothly, I'm really big on early, doing things early, being as early as you can just to test as much as you can, because you don't have the time once things start to troubleshoot. It's when it starts, they're playing, whether your stats are ready or not, whether that other content is. So you have to have an organized front, and you've got to plan ahead of time because you really can't succeed regularly by doing it on the fly.
With the help of just 2 graduate assistants and a handful of student workers, Morgul handles a heavy workload. Senior Austin Marino, who is one of the department's student workers, gave some insight into just how much weight Morgul carries.
Bill's nonstop. He is, first off, incredibly well-versed and experienced in every single sport. I can't say the same. I know just enough to get by, but Bill knows absolutely everything he needs to know about every sport, so he can run every single role at every single sport. Just in case someone were to not show up, Bill will be there to fill in. But as for the most part, he does more of a supervisor role while operating the PA, so he can say goal scored by so-and-so, and at the same time making sure that the person who's typing in the stats, the person who's checking the subs, the person who's running our live stream are all doing their job. So he's got a small hand in literally everything going on all at one time. It's crazy what he does, and even crazier to know that he does most of it by himself. And I don't know many other people could pull off what he does.
The motivation behind Morgul's hard work isn't self-satisfaction. He does it for the athletes that he promotes day in and day out.
The validation at the end of the day is to see athletes have a quality experience when it's all said and done. The reason we stress about music, or the reason we stress about how a graphic looks or how a story is written, is because we want their legacy or their performance to be adequately documented and in a way that they deem positive, because it's ultimately about their collegiate experience. And you want that to be a positive experience. You want them to look back on their time here and say, I really enjoyed that time. Now with the website, you can go back at any point and look back to something that happened 5, 6, 7 years ago. You can look back on that as a memory and think of a positive time, and that's my hope that day in and day out we're doing that.
I'm Chris Wirtz for The Slate.